My name's Nicky, and I've been in the travel industry for decades, dare I say it. I've been at Bunnik's here now for 2 years, and I work as a travel specialist, and I love it. I was very fortunate to travel to Sicily just recently. I went on our Bunnik tour, Treasures of Sicily, which is about 10 days long. What can I say? It was just amazing. It's different from mainland Italy. We were really lucky with the weather, which always enhances a trip, of course, but it was beautiful because there was blue sky every day. Lots of good food, good wine, beautiful blue seas, old buildings. Sicily has so much to offer. Everywhere we went, every single place we went, the landscape was quite different. And I think in such a smallish island compared to Australia, it was really quite surprising, and everywhere was beautiful but different. We had a smallish group, so it was great. We had a full-size bus, a nice group of people and our tour director, and it was just easy to throw ourselves into it. I had several favourite things. Perhaps the first one was the coastline. There's beautiful blue water, blue sky and rocky outcrops and the cliffs and things. In the east coast there were more beaches, not so many cliff tops, but just beautiful. And the buildings. Everywhere was different, but the buildings were beautiful. Palermo was a highlight for me. We did an anti-mafia walking tour there, and that was magnificent. It was really interesting for that to come to life and to wander around and see the courthouses and some of the places where they were. That was really a highlight for me. Probably the other highlight was Ragusa. It's inland a little bit and a little bit higher up in altitude, and it was beautiful. Very old, of course, this lovely old town, but I just loved it, and it wasn't as touristy. And so it was wonderful just wandering around there. I went for a walk there by myself, actually, just through all the old streets, and found a little cafe and sat down and had my little espresso. It was so picturesque and so different from what I'd been expecting. There was one other, though, which surprised me, was the town or the area of Ortigia, which is in the town of Syracuse, down very much on the southeastern tip of Sicily. And it's white. It's just white, brilliant white, and very old, of course. A beautiful old cathedral there, St. Lucia, but just wandering around and the beautiful sea down at the end of the street. I mean, what more could you want? It was just beautiful. One of the special experiences, which was a real highlight for me, was where we had a food and wine pairing up on the slopes of Mount Etna. It was magnificent. We went up to Mount Etna first, and it was all this black volcanic dust, and you know, that was great to see and experience. And we could hear her rumbling while we were up there, so you knew she was alive and you know, not ready to go to sleep yet. But on the way back from that, we stopped at this wonderful winery, and they have wine just from their vineyards on the slopes of Mount Etna, and it was wonderful. We had this amazing food. It was a bit like a degustation menu on this wonderful terrace with the vines over the top and the vista looking out to the ocean beyond, and it was just fantastic. The other thing that was really good was we spent a day in Lipari, which is on the Aeolian Islands. We took the ferry from Milazzo, and again, it's another beautiful, attractive, historic town with ancient Roman ruins there and an amphitheatre like so many of the towns had. And we had the most wonderful, wonderful guide there who was quite passionate about what she was showing us. So she took us all around, and we looked at all the ruins and got the history and all of that sort of thing. And then we hopped back on the bus, and they took us on a little trip around the island, and that was spectacular. And we could see other islands, other volcanic islands from where we were. That was actually a really special day, and you know, something different to do too, getting on the water, seeing it from a different perspective. Our tour started in Palermo and ended in Palermo. We went clockwise around the island, And what was really good about it is that we didn't just include all the really touristy spots of Cefalu, Taormina, Catania, all of which are worthwhile, of course, but we went up through Ragusa to Agrigento, where we've got the Valley of the Temples and all the Roman and Greek history there. And then we ended up at Marsala on the west coast, which is where the famous Marsala wine comes from. And that was quite surprising because I didn't know a lot about that. And then we went from there up through a medieval city called Erice back to Palermo. So it was 10 days going clockwise around the whole island and really worth seeing everything. It's an amazing trip. I'm very lucky. It was great.